Alright, ladies and gentlemen, working on a 2006 Chevy HHR with a 2.4 LT. We are having what's called a stalling out of issue, and this car has no codes. I've been experiencing a problem where the vehicle has been constantly stalling while driving at cold or hot, or when the engine's running hot. I've had it where it would stall going down to the bus stop to pick up my son. So I tried all the scenarios. I changed my crankshaft sensor, my map sensors, my cam sensors, my mass flow air sensor, my air filter's been changed, both oxygen sensors, my exhaust intake manifold has been replaced in all the gaskets, including the flex pipe gaskets. I even replaced the front intake manifold seals, replaced this hose in the crankcase hose, and I replaced the brake booster hose, which means the actual check valve, because it was cracked. And 2 weeks later, my vehicle starts to stall a lot now, and I can't seem to figure out why. So I was trying to figure out why when it stalls, my RPM and my speedometer quits working. But then once I reset the battery, it wants to act right again, and can't figure out what the issue is. So after I did the trick with taking the negative off of the battery and tapping it onto the positive to erase everything completely what was on the computer's mind, and plugged it back to work, it lasted about 2 days. The engine stalled again and all the gauges quit working, but only light that comes on is traction control. So something told me to go ahead and clean some of the grounds off of this thing, including the actual transmission control module in the computer. Well, as you know, I looked at the computer here. This is the transmission control module, and I didn't see any problems or dents or corrosion or anything inside this or any damages whatsoever. So I ended up cleaning it around the ports and everything, and including the plugs. Now, I did notice when I took the computer out, I found this inside my computer. As you can tell, there is liquid in one of the ports, soaking wet. Don't know what that yellow liquid came from. My car doesn't have any antifreeze leaks or any oil leaks at all, so I'm kind of concerned on how that got in there. And as you can tell, it's only in the gray port. I don't know what the gray port controls, but as you tell, the other ones are fine, but this thing is actually dirty. And I also checked the ports on this thing, and as you can tell, here's one of them. That's the blue one. It looks okay. I mean, I even checked the black one. Seems alright. And so I end up checking this one, but there's no liquid on it. So I don't know if this is a manufacturer issue. I don't know if there's a chip in this thing that's melting or something. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clean this out and see if this was what's causing my stalling issue. But I would check your ECU as well and see. But after I get this all cleaned up and let it sit for a little bit, I will make a part 2 video on the 2006 Chevy HHR stalling out of issue. But the only thing I haven't replaced yet was the fuel pump, fuel pressure regulator, throttle body, and fuel injectors. But I did do a pressure test on my vehicle yesterday with the car running. It was at 60 psi. With the car not running on accessory mode, it was between 52 and 55 psi. So I know this vehicle did pass the fuel pressure test, which means you want to keep it in between 50 and 55, and when it's running between 55 and 60. But even though I think if it's below 55 a little bit while it's running, I think the pressure is still good. But mine actually passed it, so I don't have a fuel system problem. I hope this video helps on the 2006 Chevy HHR 2.4 LT. Like I said, I'll make a part 2 video after I deal with this and see if this solves the problem. If not, I'm going to try to do a trick. I'm going to run a ground to the computer and run a ground up here to see if that solves a lot of the RPM issues, because I don't think I'm having a problem with the input and output speed sensor. I'm not very for sure on that, but I'll get back to y'all. Hope this video helps, and have a great one.